Hello, Dan and Deanna here. Happy Lionsgate Portal. In case you're not familiar, Lionsgate is a period of time every year from July 28th until August 12th, with August 8th, 8/8, right in the middle there, being the peak energy. And it's a time of manifestation, abundance, and expansion in your life. And in, astrological terms, it's when the sun, the Earth, Sun and Leo in particular, the Earth and the Sirius star system is in alignment. So powerful energies. Whether or not you're into that, it's always a good time to manifest. So let's get into it.
And you might have mixed feelings about portals. Some people might be like, "Oh, portal, like, what is that even real?" In my experience, it's extremely real. During portals, I feel the high energy, I feel the spiritual energy, I feel the good vibes. And I'm usually feeling drawn to do something specific, like visit, like travel somewhere, or especially a sacred space, sacred place with portals in it itself, which is what we did.
Mhm.
But we feel called to do a card reading in Sunday service, even though it's Sunday evening, it's kind of late. It doesn't matter. Um, yeah, we're just feeling that. I really wanted to capture the energy and vibes.
And so we're going to pull from a couple decks. So, of course, this is a period of wealth. So, we're pulling a couple cards from your sacred wealth code to kind of tap into the wealth energy. And Sirius is also associated with the Egyptian culture in particular. So, Deanna's going to be pulling from the Egyptian star oracle to bring in some of that Egyptian energy. So, without further ado, let's pull first.
Do you want to do Okay, so the first card for today's card reading to celebrate the Lionsgate Portal 2026 is Journey Through Life, Middle of the Boat or Heart of the Ship. Harry Bwawia. So, middle of the boat or heart of the ship. It's interesting that it says boat and ship because, well, I'll tell you later in the sermon. But or should I just say it now?
It's
Dan,
your
so
reading.
one of the things Dan and I did um, to celebrate the portal in the Wisconsin Dells yesterday was we went to like an old timey photo place, and we took an old timey photo of us as Jack and Rose from the Titanic. And so the fact that this card says boat and ship, middle of the boat or heart of the ship, is extremely important and special in Kismet. Um, the message I'm getting from this is, do you want to speak to anything?
If you're going to read from the deck, this deck tends to be a little esoteric, so it might help us dig deeper. Or I can just, um, you know,
So it basically says, where are you going? Where have you been? This card invites you to ask these questions of yourself and find the answers on the neighboring cards. So, okay. Yeah.
yeah. So basically, this is time to assess your journey, is what it's saying. You want to take stock, pull out your journal, take stock, and find out like where do I want to steer my life. This is, am I steering my life in the direction I want to go? If not, make a journal and dream a dream board or dream vision about like how do I want my life to look. This is the time to manifest that. And even if you are heading that direction, clarify it, go deeper with your manifestation. The journey through life, you are at the helm of the ship and it's being guided by you. This is a time to redirect your ship if you don't like the direction you're currently heading in.
It also says in the book, the hieroglyphic for the human heart can also mean middle. In the case of this deacon, either translation will hold the same meaning. Notice on the card the iconography of the heart in both the original hieroglyph and the jar held by the man rowing the boat. The deacon is depicted as a baboon surrounded by the disk of Re inside a solar bark. As you journey through life, you have what you continue to carry with you. What's also cool is one of the other activities we did was wizard questing, and there was like hieroglyphics on the walls, um, at Wizard Quest. So there's just all this kismet stuff. So
Next card.
um, so this card also can mean there's a trip coming, like you're meant to journey somewhere. That's one interpretation of this. Um, the pyramid texts and coffin texts use imagery of boats and barks to describe the journey of the deceased through the afterlife. Harry Ibwia is a deacon that can be called upon to aid with self realization and self improvement.
What you don't. This is not interesting at all. Deanna, what you lose sight of.
See, then, you have reached the
Okay.
height of
You
heaven.
can write. You make
You
note
have
later
seen
about
yourself in the night barge, and it is you who have rowed it. Okay, history. Hirabuia perfectly encapsulates the meaning behind the boat group of deacons. It represents the bark in which you travel through life, your physical body, and the journey it takes as you grow, age, and have new experiences. The other parts of your individual experience are explored by the successive deacons Seshmu, Deacon 16, which deals with spiritual journeys, Kenmu, Deacon 17, which deals with death, and Tepi Es Samed, Deacon 18, which covers the mental and intellectual world inside your head. So, ritual. Harry Ibwia can be called upon to aid with self realization and self improvement. Spell 262 from the pyramid text states, See, then you have reached the height of heaven, and you have seen yourself in the night barge, and it is you who have rowed it. And so, this is really encouragement that no matter where you are at on your journey, keep going and following your North Star, your lighthouse, whatever it is. Um, we all have a spiritual journey to walk, and um, God is always with you, and you're always protected on your journey, just like Rose in the Titanic.
All right. Time for my card.
Mhm.
All right. We have the messenger, Mercury. I bring the light of awareness. Perceptive, progressive, intelligent, adaptable, a lot of things. But Mercury is all about communication. I bring the light of awareness. And so
Messenger. That really aligns with Sirius, doesn't it?
I think so. I don't know too much about Sirius, but I do know that when I bring the light of awareness, you can't manifest anything that you don't um, put out in the world. So it's just about you need to um, you need to find a way to bring forth through your words, writing, your actions, what you intend to create in your life. Put your order. And I was actually just picking up uh, your wish is your command, and the whole part was about you have to place an order with the universe. And that's the only way it will give you what you want. You have to be very clear and you have to keep choosing it. So, this is about getting very clear on what you're choosing to create and making sure that your thoughts, actions, words, and beliefs align.
Cool. So the next card for this is Destruction of Enemies, Kentu Hero, Upper Kentu. Destruction of Enemies. So this might seem intense, pretty intense, but it's an intense energy. And so, destruction of enemies, what God is saying is that whatever enemy is in your way, and what I mean by enemy is like something that opposes love and God's will in your life, um, you will be supported in removing those obstacles. And
And of course, we know the truth from the teachings of union that nothing opposes love. It literally it only is blocks inside of you. So this also is referring to doing your going deeper in your inner work, finding those places within where there's maybe self sabotage, limiting beliefs, things that are not serving you, and clearing house within. Because truly, it's like I can't remember the who said the saying, but like I have found the enemy and it's within me, and that is the truth. Is since life is a reflection, any barrier or obstacle you see on the outside, it's pointing to something inside of you that needs healing. And so you can use powerful energies like a portal to go deeper in uprooting these places inside of you, inside of ourselves.
Yeah, so in the book, I love reading from the book. I don't know about you guys, but I love reading from the book. There's so much wisdom. So much wisdom. It says destruction of enemies. Most people in the modern era don't have a pressing need to behead their enemies the way Seti did, but this card deals with more than just enemies who are attempting to take your throne. It includes anyone who is attempting to destroy your serenity, peace, and joy. You can surely think of at least one or two people whom you want to leave you alone or with whom you have been in conflict. This card can also refer to spiritual enemies. The deacon's focus is really on overthrowing spiritual forces. So if you are up against a spiritual adversary, then Kentu Hiru is indicating that you will emerge victorious. Um, the Kentu deacon, I especially love this because I love everything Egypt. I am such an Egypt nerd. When I was growing up, I literally told my mom and my dad and everyone that my dream job was to be an archaeologist in ancient Egypt, which of course is impossible unless I'm a time traveler, but I always said that. And I had like the Book of the Dead, I had Egyptology stuff, I like read all about King Tut, like I even had a birthday cake with a pyramid on it. So, history, the Kentu deacon group is comprised of two deacons, the upper and lower parts of Kentu. This name is not found in Egyptian mythology and is possibly the only decanal god that does not have an established identity. One translator suggested the name may mean the snorting one, but the first character in the deacon's hieroglyphic name, W17, universally stands for a leader or person who is in command. This is closer to the core function of the deacon as described in the Naos of the Decades. So even though there is no solid historical record of Kentu as a deity, he can be viewed as a military leader. It is also worth noting that an important official during Pharaoh Teti's reign, chief lector priest Mereruko, had a son named Kentu. The artwork on this card comes directly from the tomb wall of Seti I in the Valley of the Kings. Part of the Book of Gates, it depicts the deceased pharaoh carrying off the head of his enemies. The full art stretches about 6 meters and has dozens of repeating figures, emphasizing Seti's prowess as a military commander. In ritual work, Kentu Hero's primary function is to expel rebels from Re's boat and ensure that the sun can rise each morning free from obstacles. This deacon is also good for dealing with eye disorders. So many good things in there. So good. Dan's not a fan of me reading from the book, but there's so much God and wisdom in the book. And I feel really compelled to read from it. And so this portal energy is kind of intense because we have, like a beheaded person and journey. One thing that's interesting is when we were in Wizard Quest, Dan actually, and I recorded this, I caught this. I want a film crew documenting my entire life. I swear to you. I wish I could hire a film crew or like apply for a reality TV show so cameras could follow us everywhere because every single second of any student of the Teachings of Union's life is extremely and infinitely valuable because it's all part of the continued teachings. But what's interesting about this beheaded person is that when Dan was doing Wizard Quest, one of the quests, one of the missions was kind of making a choice between accepting bribery or what was the choice? The
Well,
person was sucking all the air out of the room.
up the ocean or something like that. Yeah.
And Dan literally did a motion like this. And so when we speak about these things, we're not talking about real beheadings here. We're not talking about anything actually violent or like this is all like spiritual metaphor. Um and so yeah, it's a very powerful time. And this is going to have like a unique meaning in your life and your journey. And so really just tune into what God is communicating to you through this message.
And the final wealth card, the Queen. I'm an empowered feminine leader. Regal, courageous, prosperous, loyal, powerful. So yeah, so a couple things because talking about the moon. So it could be, if you're a man watching this, the moon is related to your emotions. So it could be about, making sure you tune into your emotions. But obviously, if you're a feminine, it's about, hey, yeah, go ahead with your interpretation on that
The
end.
divine feminine needs to lead on the planet right now. Not because men are stupid. I am not sexist towards men. I am like the least sexist person of all time. I am all for equality in every way. But we are trapped in patriarchy. The divine feminine needs to lead. We need more divine feminine leaders in every industry. And I want to talk more about what I noticed with Kamala. I want to do a healing sexism group discussion with people, like on a monthly basis or something, or whenever we can get together. Feminines need to take more leadership in society. And I think the only thing that's stopping it is low self esteem. Um, of course, there's a lot of different factors, but low self esteem is part of it. Um, and so I'm a queen. If there are any divine feminines watching this, you're a queen. And it's safe to step up and be a leader and actually lead. And it can be scary, especially if people disagree with you or you get bullied, but you can rule, as as Julie Andrews said to Anne Hathaway in Princess Diaries. You can rule. Princess Diaries was one of the best things that happened to me in childhood. It gave me so much um, hope and faith, and I felt so empowered watching Princess Diaries that I could be a queen too one day. And so, yeah.
Beautiful. Anything else you want to add
Do we
before?
want to pull like a third card? Okay, we're gonna go a little deeper in the reading, and I'm glad we did. Set, God of Chaos, leadership. Leadership makes me think of Divine Leadership Academy, which I believe in my heart. I hold out hope it will happen one day. Um, it's really time. Woo, it's really time. So if you study Jesus, if you know about the time of Jesus, after the crucifixion, the apostles went out and spread the word, right? Well, um, the modern day crucifixion has already happened, and it was, you know, a lot of what was going on with the media. Um, when Dan and I went to the total solar eclipse in Indianapolis at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in April 2024, which I wanted the whole world to be there. One of the cool things was the path of totality. There was like, and I have a video of this, but there was like a cross across the entire United States. And Indiana symbolizes kind of like not exactly the middle, but like the middle of the United States. And to me, when we went to that, it felt like that path of totality, the cross, it was like a sign that the crucifixion was happening. And I made posts about this. Unfortunately, I was working through really deep blocks where I was like hiding and masking a lot. And so I was really afraid to share my powerful insights. but I'll share them now. Being at that total solar eclipse felt like standing in alignment with God. And, you know, Jeff and Shalia talked about like cancel culture in their Canadian interview they did. It was Canadian interview, right?
Maybe.
Oh, you don't remember?
Yeah, I think it was in Canada. Yeah.
Um, they talked about cancel culture, and that's part of it. That's part of it. But in full truth, it was also the modern day crucifixion. Um, and while like that can be, this topic can be pulled apart a lot for a long time. Um, what we really need is for everyone to lead instead of hate. If you have leadership within you, instead of using that leadership energy and directing it towards hate, direct it towards being a leader and lobbying for change or speaking up. Um, the it was really up to the apostles of Jesus to spread the word, and it was up to them for lifetimes to reincarnate again and again to grow the church and continue spreading the message, continue spreading the word, continuously expanding. And we are Jeff and Shalia's apostles now. We are the chosen. And while it's really fun to watch the TV show The Chosen, it's more important for all of the students to get online, to share, to dominate social media, to be partnering together and talking, planning live events, helping each other heal. And so there's this portal energy is also a massive call to leadership. We need more leadership from, there's already leadership in the Church of Union, but we need everyone who's called to this teaching to rise. Um, and one final card.
Yeah. Last thing I would say about this, though, just remember that you're always leading no matter what you are doing. Lots of people think, oh, I'm not a leader, but, I'm just doing whatever role in my life. But everyone watches you, like whether you notice it or not, just by living by example and living in your highest integrity, you do lead. So I just want to add that piece.
That's a good point. Even though Dan and I didn't have like the self esteem to like share our entire journey since our band, we were still light working and affecting the people around us.
You always do. You
You
always do.
always do. And so there is that aspect, but God wants, we need to dominate social media, guys. We need to all be talking and partnering, loving each other and supporting each other, because this is the most important thing that's happened on the planet ever. And we can't have too many leaders. um, yeah. Shine, share, partner, collaborate, please.
And final card: the truth will set me free. The sage.
Oh,
And so I say this a lot, and it's actually a big aspect of the teaching is your life. You can literally set yourself free just by knowing the truth and living accordingly. The truth will set you free, but you have to be courageous enough to not only know the truth, but live the truth and let that truth liberate you. Because the truth is, of course, we live in a perfect universe with a perfect God who wants you to be perfectly happy. And when you begin to align your consciousness to the truth, you will find your reality has to reflect that, because that is actually the truth. It's only illusions only reign in your reality or anywhere because people feed them. They're not real. The truth of how beautiful life is meant to be is actually the truth. You have to claim it and use this time of manifestation to claim the goodness of life, and the goodness of God and of truth, and to embody that. And it will set you free. It will attract everything you could ever want.
The last thing I want to say about this reading is this card with a beheading. This card with the beheaded head. Um, Last thing I want to say about that is in the time of Jesus, this is on Google. According to early church tradition, 2 to 3 of the primary apostles were beheaded. James, the son of Zebedee, recorded in the New Testament, Bartholomew in some accounts, and Matthias, the replacement apostle. Paul, what a name, the replacement apostle. Nobody wants to be the replacement. Paul, while not one of the original 12, was also famously beheaded in Rome. What we're saying, what this is bringing up is also that we need to stand strong together as apostles, and we need to behead the lie, the Satan, behead the demons. We're not going to be getting beheaded in this lifetime, although a lot of us may have trauma from being martyred in past lifetimes. But we need to stand strong and protect each other. And it's truly the enemy that's going to get beheaded, and this is spiritual. I'm not talking about any person, so please don't get me wrong. This is like a spiritual metaphor for yeah, like beheading demons essentially, or like, in the Twilight series, they, in that final battle between good and evil in the Twilight series, they had to like behead the evil vampires. So this is about us fighting for what matters, which is each other, and standing by each other. And yeah,
Very good.
Satan will perish.
And the truth will set you free.
The Antichrist will be taken down.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. And
this was our Lionsgate card reading, and then we're going to do the sermon. See you in the sermon.